appreciate the patience. Thank you, Sam Lubman, for getting that fixed. Appreciate you. YouTube should be back up and running shortly here. 888-957-9570. Steve Kerr, more from him. He joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday, as he does every single week, on Curry being questionable versus Atlanta. Well, he expects him to play.
I expect him to play, but he did get banged up last night, and so he's on the injury report. Our training staff will make sure he's okay. But I think a lot of this stuff is just protocol. If somebody is injured, you have to report it, and so we list him as questionable, but I think he's likely to play.
Likely to play, and they need him. Boy, you cannot afford to miss Stephen Curry in any of these games towards the end of the year. I know you went 5-0 on that homestand without him, but on the road, when you have him and you're losing games, yeah, you cannot afford to lose Steph and Draymond. That would be a catastrophe tonight against Atlanta Hawks team. Yes, they've been struggling this year. They're 34-35, hovering around 500. Still capable of beating you. I mean, you got swept against the Pistons and Magic this year. You can absolutely lose to anyone, so nothing's going to be a gimme here on out for the Golden State Warriors. Here's more from the Xfinity mobile text line, 925. I hate the internet. The Twitter rumors about Wiggins yesterday, sickening. People are really bored and miserable to say crap like that. Yeah, I saw that. Saw Paul Pierce. I think that was the biggest name tweet. He's like, I hope these rumors about Wiggins are not true. Again, rumors are just rumors. Speculation is just speculation. Steve Kerr, put an end to that, please.
We haven't heard that from Andrew or anyone else affiliated with him. So that's just speculation.
That obviously pertaining to his return to the season, him reports saying that he's not going to return. You heard that from Colin Cowherd, who said he heard from someone that he doesn't expect him back to the rest of the year. Steve Kerr says no. Hasn't heard that. So, again, we're waiting and seeing on Andrew Wiggins, and we are up and running on YouTube. Appreciate all of you checking in. 888-957-9570. Hit me up on the YouTube. Hit me up on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter, @Spadoni_Joe. What are you doing for St. Patty's Day tonight, people? Text in. You a St. Patrick's Day fan? It's just an excuse to drink, to be honest. Maybe you're not a drinker. I am not a big drinker. Beer, whiskey, occasionally. If I'm going out with friends, I'll have some, but I'm not usually the kind of guy to go get wasted and stuff like that. But hey, it's a Friday. You do you. Where are you going? Maybe you are Irish. Maybe it's more of a personal holiday. But even I've talked to people from Ireland, and it's just like, yeah, it's just an excuse to drink. So it's not really that much of a representation over there like it is here. It's not like it's that crazy. It's not like it's Cinco de Mayo here, where it's like no one in Mexico actually celebrates Cinco de Mayo, like the gaining of independence from, Spain. It's like that's a different holiday, a different day, but we celebrate it for some reason here in America. Doesn't make sense. Point of the matter, St. Patrick's Day, it's the same everywhere. Go get wasted, wear green, everyone's Irish today, yada, yada, yada. Corned beef and cabbage, all that sort of stuff. Although, St. Patrick's Day, heavy Catholic community on a Friday, no meat. It's Lent. Yeah, it's tough. Got to go get the veggie stuff today. Got to eat fish, all that sort of stuff. But what you doing for St. Patrick's Day? What are you doing for the weekend? Are you watching more NCAA action for March Madness, which has just been wild? Wild, wild, wild. And would you expect anything less from the NCAA tournament? And listen, I'm not here to crush it or anything like that. I understand the last 3 or 4 minutes are usually exciting. The first, 36 minutes are just excruciating to watch. College basketball product is just so poor. It's so bad. Like, I'm watching this game. Was West Virginia. It was the first game on the slate. It was West Virginia versus Maryland yesterday, and we had it all in the studio. And it was like 16-14 West Virginia, and it felt like that was the score for the 15 minutes. I was like, can none of these guys know how to drive to the hoop? Is it always just going to be chucking from deep every single time? I blame Steph Curry. All right? Damn it, Steph. You made all these kids in college think that they could be you when there's only one Steph, right? There's only one Stephen Curry. And then we got the Trae Youngs coming in who you're going to be playing tonight. You remember his little run. He's very obviously heavily influenced by Stephen Curry. And you got the Dame Lillards, all that sort of stuff. Their deep shots. There's only a few of those guys. But so when I see this, the Marylands and the West Virginias and the Charlestons of the world just chucking up the three-point ball, can we get better offense here? Is that asking too much? Moon Dust on the YouTube chat. Good morning. Do I have to make coffee for Joe and Bonte? No. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Joe and Bonte hook it up. If I ask, if I text, they are right there because they are always getting their coffee early in the morning. I appreciate those guys if they are listening out there. Shasky, Bonte, always appreciate the hookups on the coffee. So yeah, I just say the word. They're heading because I'm in a spot. They know that I'm in a spot downtown where there's no Starbucks near me that are open this early. Where this is a heavy business area, so Starbucks aren't near. Like they're more so in residential areas that are open that early in the morning because they know people are getting up, getting out. So my particular spot in San Francisco, no Starbucks open at 5 a.m. over here. So I need the hookup sometimes, and they provide it. James on the YouTube chat. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, James. Green shakes at McDonald's always used to be good. The Shamrock shakes, yeah. It's kind of like a minty flavor to it. I'm out on those. You know what they used to have? The milkshakes that I used to F with? The Captain Crunch milkshakes. This is way back. This is a deep cut, folks. For all you fast foodies out there like me and myself. This is back like, I think in my high school days. The Captain Crunch Crunchberry milkshake from Carl's Jr., undefeated. Might be the greatest fast food dessert option in the history of fast food dessert options. The Captain Crunch Crunchberry milkshake from Carl's Jr. I don't think they're bringing that one back. Remember they had the ice cream Pop-Tart sandwich there too? Whew. Those are good. Now I'm hungry at 5:20 in the morning. 888-957-9570. El Guero, good morning, Spadone, on the YouTube chat. Payday Friday. Yes, sir. It's Payday Friday. St. Patty's Day. It's a Phil Collins Friday. Man, what a day. What a day. 415 on the Xfinity mobile text line. Catholic law actually makes the Feast of Saints a day off from Lent sacrifices and joys. Oh, am I allowed to eat meat today? Can I go get that meat lover's sandwich across the street? The meat lover's breakfast sandwich at Gambino's? Oh, that sounds great this morning. That sounds great. I got to look into that. You know, I might just do it anyways. I'm very iffy on Lent every other week when it comes to eating fish or not. I'm a growing boy. I got kids. Sometimes they don't want fish. Sometimes I got to cook them other stuff. That's all right. That's all right. 888-957-9570. What are your St. Patrick's Day plans tonight? What are your weekend plans? What are you watching this weekend? We watching more NCAA tournament today. Again, the big upset yesterday as it pertains to that was Princeton taking out the 2-seed Arizona. I'm sure that broke a lot of people's brackets. Early in the day was Furman, 13th seed, over Virginia. Sick three-pointer there late after a bad turnover for Virginia. And Virginia's just had some terrible first-round losses past years. Remember, they were the first team to lose to a 16 seed. What was it, UMBC? Taking them out. That was I think Ty Jerome was actually on that team, right? And Kyle Guy. Remember those names? Ty Jerome and Kyle Guy. God. Well, we've been relying on one of those guys this season, Golden State Warriors. 888-957-9570. What are you watching this weekend? And here's Steve Kerr talking about that final roster spot and figuring out what to do. Maybe he gave a hint that it would be Anthony Lamb.
We have one roster spot open, and it's up to the front office to make that decision. I know they're going through, their possibilities right now, literally as we speak, and there's no doubt we're going to need to fill that spot because between the injuries and the absences, we're a little thin right now.
Little thin right now. Anthony Lamb is here to help. From the YouTube chat, Daniel Morales, nobody cares about your coffee or your Captain Crunch milkshakes. Isn't this a sports radio show? It's actually just a radio show. I could talk about sports if I want to. I could talk about Captain Crunch milkshakes if I want to. Daniel, I appreciate you chiming in, though, on the YouTube chat. What's your favorite milkshake, Danny boy? Oh, Danny boy. Happy St. Patty's Day. Corned beef and cabbage day. KM Johnson on the YouTube chat. Appreciate you chiming in. 925 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. Corned beef and beer bread tonight. Coaching daughter softball tomorrow and lots of tourney. Shout out 925. That's what he's doing this weekend. What are you doing? 888-957-9570. 888-957-9570. Anthony Slater joined the morning roast yesterday. Anthony Slater's all good. He's always the best. He's up there in SAC watching a lot of tourney action, saying he's scouting. He's just enjoying himself. That's the perk of being a sports writer or being in the sports industry. I'm just doing my homework, babe. I got to go watch all these NCAA tournament games up at Golden One Center. Yeah, I know it's tough. It's my job, though. Someone's got to do it. I try to get away with that at home when I'm talking to the missus, and there's just some random Thursday night football game on. Let's say it's the Titans versus, Titans versus Bucks. It's like, why are you watching this? Gotta watch it. Why? This isn't the Niners. This isn't the Raiders. Why are you watching this game? Well, it's fantasy. It's talking points for tomorrow. Maybe something big happens. No. Turn this crap off and put on Coco Melon. I tried. 510 on the Xfinity mobile text line. Danny Boy sounds like he needs some coffee in his life. I agree. My guy Danny Morales. What's going on, Danny Boy? It's a payday Friday, St. Patty's Day Friday. You all right, man? You all right? Paul Revere. Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, America on the YouTube chat. Ernie Chavez, my guy. Good morning, Spadoni. You're always around. What's up, Ern Dog? But I was referring to Anthony Slater just a few minutes ago before I got distracted, which I always do on the text line and on the YouTube chat. Anthony Slater joined the Morning Roast yesterday, and he said something that many have echoed on this station this week, and I think it's becoming more and more of a reality as more and more of these losses stack up for the Warriors on the road. Here's Anthony Slater on the Warriors probably not being able to win a title without Andrew Wiggins this season.
When we talk about their title possibilities, I mean, it's very easy to look at last season, what happened in the playoffs last season. He morphed into the second most important player on the team. He's guarding Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic while scoring 20 a game in the West Finals and the NBA Finals. If they don't have him, and at this point it's seeming more doubtful by the day, I think we can all say that. They don't seem to know for sure, but they seem to not know that he's coming back. And if he doesn't come back, they aren't winning the title. I just, we saw it yesterday. The Clippers played really good. That was a very good game by the Clippers. I thought the Warriors brought great energy. You could just tell they're missing the requisite pieces to challenge a contender. And that biggest missing piece is their $33 million small forward that hits threes, that can get you tough twos, and that guards the best wings in the league.
Yeah. Andrew Wiggins was the second best player for the Warriors in the playoffs last year. This is a huge story. And no, we're not going to do the speculation radio. We're not going to say this, give credence to all those stupid rumors that are out there that are just rumors. That's the name. Shout out Adele, rumor has it. I'm not giving credence to that. I will be here to talk about the absence of Andrew Wiggins as it pertains to the team and on the basketball floor. It's a huge loss. And we're allowed to talk about that. There is a gaping hole missing on this team, and it's Andrew Wiggins. And it's been seen night in and night out on the road, at home, all of that. I think we took for granted what Andrew Wiggins meant for this team. We absolutely took it for granted. This guy was getting crushed early in his Warriors tenure. We did it at the station. We had a whole segment called K-Wig about him as he would go in and out of games. He would fade in and out. He'd be just sort of 18 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. That would be his night in, night out stat. He'd fade in and out. But we saw how important he was for this team last year in the playoffs. He was the second best player behind Stephen Curry. He was having to guard all these guys, the Tatums, the Browns. He was that guy. He wasn't the guy that had to get subbed off like Draymond Green late in games because he was costing the team. Andrew Wiggins was the guy playing lockup defense. He was the guy hitting the mid-range shots. He was the guy making the sick dunks on Luka Doncic. That was him. He had his moments last year. Is he going to come back to the team this year? We'll wait and see. But until then, they're missing him badly, and it's a gaping hole in this roster. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. We'll get into more of that on the other side. Get into a little of the 49ers as they make the signings official what's the word I'm looking for? Now I just went blank. St. Patty's Day this early on a 526? Oh, man. As it pertains, I'm going to say perturbs. That's not the right word. As it pertains to Sam Darnold, Javon Hargrave, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to talk about some of the signings that went official there. Peter King joined Willard and Dibbs this week and had some interesting thoughts on Sam Darnold. I want to get your reaction on the other side there. 888-957-9570. This is St. Patrick's Day. It's a payday Friday. It is a Phil Collins Friday, and it's a pregame show Friday. Let me know what you guys are doing this weekend to celebrate, all that sort of stuff. 888-957-9570. YouTube, Twitch, hit me up on Twitter. This is the pregame show. Come on back. 95.7 The Game.
Today, the Dubs go to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. Warriors Live starts at 3:30 with Willard and Dibbs.
This is the most optimistic moment of the Golden State Warriors season.
Tip at 4:30.
Behind the back, Curry working on Lee. Backs up three, hit it. He just turned away. As soon as he released it, he knew it was going to go in.
Every game matters. The only place to hear Steph Curry and the Dubs is 95.7 The Game.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring.
on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni. Phil Collins Friday. St. Patty's Day. Payday Friday. What more do you need right there? It's the 3 Ps. Payday, Phil, Patty? Come on. What are you doing today to celebrate? What are you doing this weekend to celebrate? 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Warriors taking on the Hawks tonight. We'll continue to preview that matchup. No Draymond Green. He is going to be out, suspended, received that 16th tech, did not get it rescinded. So bye-bye Draymond tonight in Hotland. Is he going to stop by Magic City? Is he going to be hanging out there? We'll see. Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. 888-957-9570, 415 the Xfinity mobile text line. Wild Turkey 101 is my favorite bourbon. Whiskey, I will have one for you. Happy St. Patty's Day. Hey, appreciate you, 415. Yes, have your whiskey. Take your shots in name of the pregame show. Appreciate all of you. I'm a whiskey guy, I would say. Like, if I'm going out and I'm having a drink, I'm usually having a Jack and Coke or having like a whiskey on the rocks kind of thing. I like a Jameson Solid Wild Turkey's good. Jack Daniels, obviously, classic. I got some Johnny Walker Blue Label for my bachelor party a few years ago. That was probably the smoothest and best whiskey I've ever had. Quite expensive from the little bro, but appreciate you, Mikey, for getting me that. Nicholas Lavrov, I think I pronounced that correctly, on the YouTube chat. Again, hit me up on Twitch and YouTube. We are streaming live on there. Follow me on Twitter. Give me a follow at Spadoni_Joe. Hit me up on there. Nicholas Lavrov's dub win it all. No one panic. It's good. Hate the Hawks. Blue Label? Yeah, Nicholas. Blue Label. Look it up, buddy. It's delicious. Paul Revere on the YouTube chat. Steph better not sit out tonight, or I read it Steph better like he was just doing the Steph better. Shout out Andy Liu. Steph better not sit out tonight or Saturday against Memphis. If he does, I will start to question his competitive spirit. Let's relax on Stephen Curry's competitive spirit. Guy's giving it his all. Have you not been seeing after each loss this guy's face on the sideline? It's dejected. He feels the weight of the world and the weight of this team and the weight of this fan base and the weight of this franchise on his shoulders. He feels it all. He's carrying this team offensively right now. You don't think this guy's competitive spirit is there? Please. Miss me with that. I'm not going to ever question Stephen Curry's competitive spirit. I'll question Draymond Green when he says that he doesn't get up for games in March. When he says something like that, then I have to question it. I don't want to, because he's shown me time in and time out that he is the heart and soul on the defensive side of the ball of that team. But when you say comments like that, I don't get up for games in March. Well, he's not tonight. And that's not good. 888-957-9570. 888-957-9570. David Estrada, let's have some Jameson this weekend and hang out with the family. There you go. Please just be safe on the roadways. Again, goes without saying, St. Patty's Day. Everyone just be safe out there. There was a mess of a situation yesterday on the Bay Bridge heading in. A couple people died, unfortunately. So please, be safe on the roadways. Pay attention. Don't be a distracted driver. Be a defensive driver. Be safe out there this weekend. There's my PSA. 888-957-9570. From the Warriors, we pivot a little bit to the 49ers as some of their signings became official yesterday. We're going to start seeing this trickle down from a lot of teams. Sam Darnold, official. Javon Hargrave, official. Isaiah Oliver, all these guys becoming official signees. And Peter King joined Willard and Dibbs this week, and he talked about Sam Darnold as an insurance piece for the 49ers, and he thinks it was great. Here's Peter King and his thoughts.
Nice insurance policy, that's what it means, because, look, right now the 49ers want to be protected at the quarterback position. You know, no matter how much anybody truly still loves Trey Lance, has faith in him, whatever, the simple fact is Trey Lance has not done it yet. What Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch did is they insured their 2023 season could be about as good as it can be.
Oh, Peter, your phone was failing there, buddy. Turning into Megatron there. But yeah, it's a good insurance policy. And Peter, if you've listened to him throughout the weeks and throughout his time here during the Trey Lance era, he's been very pessimistic on Trey Lance, as I get from his thoughts. And he's tapped in. I'm not going to deny that. He talks to these people. He talks to the 49ers front office. And I don't think it's any secret about the whole Trey Lance thing. You know, maybe they whiffed on it, but they need to see what they got in the guy. You can just read through the tea leaves when it comes to John Lynch's comments on it. I mean, you can go back to Kyle Shanahan after the season. He feels like they have two starting quarterbacks on their roster as it pertains to Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. So it's his job right now. It's Trey Lance's job to lose as Brock Purdy tries to rehabilitate and tries to come back from his elbow surgery. They said it's going to be 3 months till he starts throwing. The surgery was 2 weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago. So we'll see on that if he's ready by week 1. I wouldn't bet on it. If there was odds to bet it, if there was odds, I'm sure there are, who's the 49ers starter week 1, I would probably bet it's Trey Lance, but it's not a given. It's absolutely not a given. And here's more from Peter King on Sam Darnold thinking it's a good move.
What happens if Trey Lance wins the job and then performs poorly early on and Brock Purdy isn't ready and his elbow is not good? Well, they have a proven fireman in the bullpen now in Sam Darnold, who actually played pretty well this year in Carolina. One thing that we know about Kyle Shanahan is quarterbacks play better when they play for Kyle Shanahan. So I think it was a real smart signing, and it was a signing that was not all that costly, and I think it was a real good idea.
Yeah, not all that costly but all the incentives there. I guess what is it, up to $11.5 million if he starts actually playing games like Peter insinuated. There's some incentives tied in there that I'm sure if he starts a certain amount of games that it can be costly, but again, costly for who? Because it's a 1-year deal, so I get that whole sense there. But Sam Darnold, listen, if Trey Lance struggles early on, and this is the thing, if they're struggling bad, like let's say they're losing the first 2 weeks and it's 30-15 bad or 25-10, they're just not scoring. And if it's looking that bad and they have to pivot off Trey Lance, then you might as well just cut bait at that point. Because his career's over for the 49ers. His career's over. If you get benched for Sam Darnold and you're Trey Lance, it's over. Night. Because they're going to start to feel it. The fan base is going to start to feel it. The coaching staff is going to start to feel it. The front office is going to start to feel it. That Super Bowl window is going to start becoming really tight, and it's going to feel really tight if you struggle early on next season. That's why it's imperative for the 49ers to get off to a hot start this upcoming season. And Trey Lance is imperative for him to win. It doesn't need to look pretty. It just needs to win. The team just needs to win. Doesn't matter how it looks. Because if the team's winning with Trey Lance not looking great, then that's, you know what? Who cares? He's only going to get better. The guy has to play. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills at this point. He just has to play. He just needs to stay on the field. And I think a lot of 49ers fans feel like they've seen enough from the kid. You haven't seen anything. You're foolish to say we've seen enough from Trey Lance. We don't know what Trey Lance is yet. And I would like to find out. I think the 49ers would like to find out. But if that comes at the cost of winning games early in the season, yeah, you might see them pivot, and you might have seen the end of Trey Lance as it pertains to a 49ers quarterback and a starting 49ers quarterback. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. We're going to have the cross Joe over here on the other side of this break. Joe's asking to join me. I'm going to see what his plans are this weekend. He's an Irish boy. St. Paddy's Day today. Again, what are you doing to celebrate? Are you watching some March Madness? Are you going out with the boys, with the girls? What are you doing? Let me know. 888-957-9570. You can hit me up on Twitch. You can hit me up on YouTube, on Twitter. David Estrada, who's your favorite Dragon Ball Z character? I'll have that on the other side, David. That's a tease. You don't get anywhere else. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni again, 888-957-9570. Come on back. The cross Joe over next. Joe Shasky joins me in studio, 95.7 The Game.
Kate, you look amazing.
Thanks. I've lost 40 pounds with Balanced Medical Solutions. They have many options, but semaglutide was a good...
been waiting too, Phil. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, Phil Collins Friday. It's a payday Friday. It's St. Patty's Day Friday. We got the 3 P's there. That's Joe Shasky. Joseph, not P. Shasky. Is it? Philip. Oh, see? That's the 4th P right there.
PHILIP, baby.
Huge. That's right there. That's Joe Shasky joining me right now for the crossover. And Joe, we've been talking about it. It's St. Patty's Day. It's kind of, when we were talking about it just off air there, just kind of a weird part. Like, we're waiting for baseball to start. It's just not quite there. Like, WBC. It's been fun. I know you guys are going to talk a little about that on today's show. So it's a little exciting there, but I'm waiting for another topic to be here on the pregame show because I'm Andrew Wiggins fatigued. I'm Trey Lance fatigued. I'm just fatigued about some of these bigger storylines. And you know what? I'm not Draymond Green fatigued because he has not playing tonight in Atlanta, and his suspension is not going to be rescinded. His technical is not going to be rescinded. And a guy that says that he is not getting up for March games, well, he's not getting up, but it's not a good reason why. It's because he's suspended.
It's just...
And Steve Kerr, by the way, said he expects Steph to play. He's questionable, but he expects him to play.
They're just... And then they signed Anthony Lamb.
Yep.
You know,
those are the big storylines.
They're at a spot in the season where it's go time. You know, it's go time for them. And so I'm excited to see the game tonight, and I'm ready for them to try to win a game on the road, like straight up. I mean, that's what we all want, right? The game tonight, now, as much as everybody's going to go Warriors, you know, big games. I have March Madness for a lot of people. What about Stroman versus Urias?
No.
Puerto Rico versus Mexico tonight, 7 p.m. FS1.
I guess maybe
you're not into it.
I'm trying. I get the whole kind of World Cup for the baseball feel to it. If USA's not playing, and even when USA's playing, I find myself talking about oh, this is really cool. I find myself saying that, and then when I'm chilling at home and it's just oh yeah, do you want to watch USA versus great?
Well, the USA team doesn't play with the hair on fire the way the other nations do.
Also, I feel like I wanted to care. I felt like going into man, this is really cool. Mike Trout, a lot of these guys are starting to care more. I'm but then I find myself sitting on the couch. It's let's watch Star Trek. I'm trying to get into it. I'm trying.
No, I hear you.
I'm trying, but I'm not feeling it. And maybe it's going to start changing more of these guys like Mike Trout saying he's caring more and he's putting the team on his back, and that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
The best player
guy still hasn't won anything.
He still hasn't won anything. But hey, if USA wins this year and he's the best player on the team, I give him credit for that.
For sure.
That's a huge notch under his belt. And baseball more than any other sport.
But I'm saying if he had team success with the Angels, would his opinion of the WBC be different?
Yes, probably, because you're seeing these guys, and we're going to get into it. You guys are going to get into the show. I'm sure more American and USA-born players are going to say that the World Series means more.
Of course.
But you're seeing guys in the Dominican Republic, in Venezuela, and Puerto Rico. No, this is our sport. Soccer is not our national sport. It's baseball. We live and die for this stuff. So when we get to represent our country, and this is our country's major sport, and let's face it, it's not the major sport in America anymore. It's not.
No.
It's football. Hell, it might even be basketball. And then it's baseball. It used to be America's pastime. This is the sport that we invented. This is a sport that we love.
Well, it depends on how you're doing the metrics, right? So, yes, I agree. NFL's king. It's not the two most popular sports are the NFL and college football.
Okay,
that is,
if you want to, yes.
I know it's the same sport, but those are the two most popular things in America right now. Now, when you look at the finals versus the World Series, there's data that goes in both directions. The finals were higher rated in some aspects. The World Series were. I go to the ALCS and NLCS versus the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and I couldn't believe this. Baseball outrated on television.
It's wild.
The Eastern and Western Conference.
Do you know what
I just shocking?
You know what I just saw recently? A Duke and Virginia game a couple weeks ago. I think maybe even the ACC tournament. I don't know. It rated more than Bucks Warriors. Well, the other day. I was that's wild to me. College basketball and the product stinks.
Well, we're a fragmented viewing society, so that's number one. The second part of this is that, and I think both baseball and basketball suffer from this, the majority of fans are accustomed to seeing those teams, your team, right, because it's very regional, your team on your channel. So for us, NBC Bay Area, right? That's how we go there first, and then it's oh, it's not there. Then my brain goes TNT, ESPN. Yes. Whereas in the NFL, we know it could be on any one of the main channels, right? Baseball right now, if I ask most people, they're going to consume the Giants via NBC, right? And then secondarily, where would you watch them if they were on a national game?
Oh, well, now you got all the options.
Facebook Live. It could be Apple Plus. It could be FX.
FS1. Yeah.
Thank you. FX, FS1. TNT, TBS sometimes has playoff games depending on if they have the AL or the NL. So I do think that both the NBA and Major League Baseball, because of the fragmented viewing, that really does affect them. Now, if you live just outside of the Bay Area, okay, and you're closer to Sacramento, it's really difficult unless you have certain packages to consume the San Francisco Giants.
And that's what it's going to be the future of the league, probably. You're going to have to pay just subscriptions and you're already seeing it in New York, right? They're doing it with all the Knicks.
Yeah.
They're doing all the packages, Nets, Mets, all that sort of stuff.
My sister lives in Roseville, okay? She grew up a Warriors fan, okay? Yeah. What do you think she gets to watch? It's Kings basketball, and a lot of Warrior games are blacked out.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder how the whole the territorial rights for that stuff.
It's weird.
It is very odd.
It's very weird. But she'll get Giants games.
Well, I remember we used to be able to, down in Monterey, where I grew up in Pacific Grove, I used to be able to get both Comcast, it was back Comcast then, but California and Bay Area. I'd say like 41 and 40 always used to be interchangeable.
Yes.
I can go flip on the Kings real quick.
Yeah, and then couldn't. No Kings games were ever broadcasted in the Bay Area. So really? Monterey is a different television
both
region.
of them. Interesting.
Yeah. So again, it's all of these blackout restrictions and all of these specific things, and NFL doesn't have that. I can watch the I know Thursday night Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be on, Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And so like what was crazy to me is that everyone was complaining and crying about Amazon Prime, and I'm like, 13 million people watched it on Amazon Prime.
It's not that hard to find either.
That dwarfs World Series and NBA and like all of that stuff. I'm talking about finals and World Series stuff. So like the NFL is just king because the majority of their product outside of preseason is national. Everything is national.
Yep. And then and they got the benefit of a shortened season, like a way shorter season in comparison.
Sense of urgency,
all
gambling,
that.
fantasy. There's a variety of reasons why.
They have really been on the cutting edge when it comes to all that stuff. I shouldn't say cutting edge, but they've been the first to do it, which means that everyone else is going to follow suit after that when it comes to the gambling aspect, when it comes to television, all that sort of stuff. And now we're seeing that kind of the money aspect kind of trickle with this whole Lamar Jackson situation, which is kind of fascinating as that plays out. Like money-wise, like Lamar wants all that guaranteed money. The owners have it, but they're not willing to shed that money because it sets a precedent, all that sort of stuff. So that's going to be interesting.
Are they ever going to execute this Aaron Rodgers trade? I mean, like, what's going on?
Hey, Chasky, you know what the latest rumor is?
What's that?
Mark Davis wants to get in.
It's too late. He already said he's going to the Jets, no?
Well, Mark Davis is like, maybe we want a big splash. Jimmy Garoppolo, let's hold off here a second.
Can we crush Aaron Rodgers the way the media crushed LeBron James?
I think we've crushed Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't think it's anywhere close.
It's not anywhere as close. Well, we know why.
Well, there's a variety of reasons, but yes, the main reason is exactly why.
Yeah,
but come on, man, I'm sick of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I am too. Well, I think people are becoming more and more sick, and this guy hurt his reputation tremendously. A couple years ago, with the whole Pat McAfee.
Go.
Yeah, just bounce, dude. Like,
figure it out.
We used to think this guy was so knowledgeable. It's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, you know what? He's eccentric. We don't think he's just a wackadoodle. He's eccentric. He's just an interesting guy. He says interesting things. No, he's just a douche. Like, that's just what he is. The guy, and you were on, I give you credit. You were on this early on. The guy doesn't talk to his own family. The guy alienates himself. The guy's out there going ayahuasca trips. Like, no, buddy, you're just a weirdo.
Thank you.
Like, I'm sorry. You mask this persona that you're so much smarter. You're so much better than everyone else. No, man, you're just a jerk.
Thank you. Just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean you can't be a whack job. Okay, for example, I'm not going to say too many details, but I know someone very close to at the time George Lucas. This is about 20 years ago, and they would say about George Lucas, "Oh, he's an eccentric." No, if he was one of these wackadoodles on Market Street, you would say that guy's completely insane. Now, does he have genius? Absolutely. He's also a complete jerk and totally self-involved, and everything is very selfish, right? And both can be true simultaneously. Aaron Rodgers is a genius at football and a straight jerk.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. No, the George Lucas, when he said that, it's like, no, you thought this guy's crazy. I was like, yeah, well, when he made Jar Jar Binks a main character in episode 1, I thought he was nuts as it is.
The guy's a Looney Tune.
Mandalorian, real quick, now they're on Star Wars. Interesting episode this past week.
I'm enjoying how they're deviating from the main storyline.
Absolutely, sorry not to cut you off. I like that they went back to Coruscant. I haven't seen that since the prequels, kind of the main city there, if you will. Like, They said 1 trillion people live here. Like that's nuts.
It's beautiful, wasn't it?
It's cool. Like just how they kind of got the New Republic feel to it. The New Republic still kind of feels like the Empire in kind of ways.
Yeah.
They're trying to distance themselves. Just fascinating. Nerd talk here on the pregame show. This is the crossover.
Bo-Katan and my boy about to get it on or what?
Bo-Katan, man. Whew. Huge crush.
Is it? Are they about to like?
They
hook up?
better, man. I don't know. Is she part of like the tribe now? Like they welcomed her in,
right?
Like, it's a redemption arc for her. Like the Grogu, their unadopted son. Like
I love Grogu.
Grogu's the best.
Is he gonna is he gonna be a hybrid? Like I'm trying to like spin this forward. Is he a hybrid Jedi Mandalorian here? Like what's going on with
Bonte's
Grogu?
listening to this and just going nuts. By the way, Bonte Hill joining the show here in about 10 minutes. I want his takes on the Mandalorian, but. Grogu with the Mandalorian helmet with the ears sticking. Did they have a custom helmet for him? Are the ears sticking out of the helmet? Shasky, these are the questions that need to be answered.
I need it all. I need everything involved in it. And then also was the guy. What's the evil bad guy who was also in Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah. Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon. Is he the one who ordered her house to get killed?
Dude, I don't know. Like she's well. Spoiler alert! Anyone that hasn't watched The Mandalorian, like you can turn it off now if you want. But it's interesting. It does feel like she's still loyal to him, right? After that whole little thing,
100%.
Like she's still loyal. Like I was like, what? Where is this going? Like, is she just like a cray cray? Like, is she just? No, she just wiped this guy's memory, killed him, whatever. And she's absolutely still working for Moff Gideon. I don't know what the ultimate end game, like the evilness plan for them, like is. Like,
exactly.
The whole cloning thing. Like, I don't know. Like, is she trying to like erase?
Well,
like,
did they clone Yoda and that's how Grogu was born? Is Grogu like built from the Force? Like, how did Grogu get birthed?
Well, he was still in the Jedi Academy, so like that's the whole.
But that's what I'm
thing.
saying.
Like, so like,
did Yoda have like a side chick?
I don't.
Did he have a Guma?
Oh my god!
Did Yoda have a Guma? I'm
I keep thinking of
serious.
Vito. He's a married man with a Kumar. That doesn't mean S. Elton John was married. Shout out Vito. Those that know, that's Joe
Vito.
Shasky. He's going to join Bonte next. The Morning Roast, more Sopranos, more Mandalorian talk. We'll see. 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine against sludge and wear with a synthetic oil change. O'Reilly Auto Parts has 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $35.95. Plus get 2